Hey movie junkies, welcome back to Twin Flicks, where we always here celebrating the magic of movies and most importantly, physical media with you. Now this video wasn't going to happen. I never planned on doing a comparison review of The Burning. I did pick this up when it was released a week or so ago. Now the reason why I decided not to do a comparison between this 4K and the previous Blu-ray is simply because I actually never owned the Blu-ray. And I'm not going to pirate the movie like I know other channels do on this platform to do a comparison. I'm not going to do that because I want to give an honest, true, native comparison between the Blu-ray and the 4K. And so because of that, and because you guys kept requesting it, I decided to go on Amazon and pick up the Blu-ray. So see what I do. I go out of my way to spend money on a Blu-ray that I never owned previously, just so I can do a comparison. So let's talk a little bit about this Blu-ray. Now this came out in 2013 with a 2K scan from Shot Factory from the original 35mm negative. Numerous issues with this Blu-ray. A whole lot of stuff that we'll get into in this review. Also, it was framed wrong at 178:1 when it's supposed to be in the intended 185:1. Anyways, this 4K UHD comes at us with a new 2023 4K restoration from the original camera negative with HDR10 and Dolby Vision grading, again with the intended aspect ratio of 185:1. So let's get into it, guys, and compare the differences here between the previous 2013 Blu-ray and this new 4K. The improvements are immediately apparent. Now first off, I have to bring this out with how the color reproduction has been corrected, and this is a famous scene from the film right here. The sky, as you can tell, has been completely blown out white on the Blu-ray, and on the 4K, it's been corrected back to how it should look, which is a blue sky. And this is just a taste of how this color reproduction has been restored back to its intended color grading. Also, any age-related wear and tear to the negative, such as speckles and scratches, have all been cleaned up, giving a more natural appearance to the image. A really nice reference point here with the 4K is the added HDR and Dolby Vision grading that noticeably opens up the colors, only enhancing what's already there. But unlike the Blu-ray, we now have richer, deeper, and more filmic selection of colors and shades from start to finish. First, the greens of the surrounding foliage, trees, grass, and brush is more varied now and looking lusher and livelier. The blues are improved as well, looking more natural and energetic, whether it's the blue sky, shirts, or other shades of blue. But I have to take a minute and talk about all the blood and gore effects, which is a major improvement, especially when you compare it to the Blu-ray that was littered with that dreaded strawberry jam colored type blood. It just looked awful and was one of the major complaints that a lot of people had when the Blu-ray was released. Now with this 4K, again, we have the blood and gore effects that looks much more lifelike, very deep crimson reds. Now with this 4K, it brings the look of the blood and gore effects back to how it was originally intended, how Tom Savini originally made it look like, and one of the main reasons why we love this movie. Now another major improvement here is with the fire. From campfires to the maintenance man being set on fire and the ending, just as with the Blu-ray with the blue sky, the fire is also completely blown out. Now it's been corrected with this 4K restoration and HDR grading, allowing the fire to look more active with a deeper, richer yellow-orange color with a slight glow around it. You can see the differences here. It's obvious, especially the ending with a flamethrower that looks incredibly stronger. Saturation is also elevated, bringing more lifelike punch to the image without it looking artificially too rich or overly used. Contrast is also improved, giving slightly more brightness to the image. Highlights are also on point here and much more balanced compared to the Blu-ray, where highlights on the 4K remain crisp and brilliant with a tight, narrow glow to them, maintaining a consistent, natural image, especially during scenes of the sunlight glistening off the lake that just looks gorgeous. I mean, the entire color palette has more life and vigor, giving more vibrancy, and is all around a better controlled presence. Some great examples here is during the daylight scenes, looking much more brighter and dynamic here than the Blu-ray. The black levels are also greatly improved here, where on the Blu-ray there was a lot of crushing. Shadows are richer, penetrating deep into the screen, and has excellent shading. This all really draws out much more distinctive information to the details and objects, but also drawing out more pop to colors that stays true during the darkest areas in poorly lit scenes. An example of this is the opening moments leading up to the movie's first kill. It's significantly darker, drenched in pitch black and shadows that maintain good visibility of the finer details within the darkest, murkiest corners of the frame. And now let's get into the details and texturals, because there is an abundance here. The Blu-ray wasn't very sharp. There were some obscured details. They look a little blurry, especially in background shots. Here with the 4K, details are razor sharp, giving terrific detailed and sharper image. The individual leaves of trees, blades of grass, and the small imperfections in the wooden cabins of the camp. It's just all visible now and looks fantastic. Close-ups are lifelike and healthy, revealing complexions, beads of sweat. The blood and gore also looks very detailed and finer than the Blu-ray did. I will say there are occasional soft moments here and there, but it's just inherited issues and not an issue with the transfer. So, I mean, this has to be expected for a low-budget horror movie in the early 80s. Overall, the image is nice and sharp with excellent definition, even in the far distance, which looks outstanding. And we also have a nice fine layer of natural 35mm grain that's very consistent throughout, providing the image with a beautiful filmic appearance. Guys, Shout Factory 4K release of The Burning is just immaculate and destroys the Blu-ray on all levels. Alright, now let's get into the audio presentation, and The Burning does include a new 24-bit DTS lossless stereo track, and this track really brings the movie to life and is a perfect complement to the outstanding video presentation, such as with the synth music score that accompanies the heart thumps in the movie. It just sounds great. Sound effects are also well managed here, and placement and movement is on point. Dialogue is rendered crystal clear, and I didn't notice any kind of encoding anomalies, and music nor sound effects ever drown out the audio. Alright, so my score for Shout Factory's 4K UHD presentation of The Burning, I'm giving the video a 5 out of 5. As for the audio, I do have to knock it down a peg to a 4, so I'm giving the audio a 4 out of 5. But now here's the real test, because I'm calling upon you. When you look at the differences here between the two formats, the Blu-ray and the new 4K UHD, which format do you think looks better? Head over to the comments section and let me know. As always, guys, thanks so much for spending a few minutes here with me and comparing and talking about The Burning from Shout Factory. Definitely one to pick up and dump your old Blu-ray. As always, guys, keep physical media alive, and we'll see you next time.